In today's increasingly digital world, Azure DevOps has become a crucial tool for many enterprises. This video will guide you through the top 25 Azure DevOps interview questions and answers, which could prove beneficial for job seekers in the tech industry. Whether you're a fresher or an experienced professional, this video will offer valuable insights to help you prepare for your next interview. By the end of this video, you will be more confident and ready to showcase your Azure DevOps skills. 1. What is Azure DevOps? Azure DevOps is a Microsoft product that provides a set of developer services to support teams to plan work, collaborate on code development, build applications, and deploy them. It provides an integrated set of features that you can access through your web browser or IDE client, helping you to easily plan, track, and discuss work across the entire development process. With Azure DevOps, you can implement DevOps practices such as continuous integration, continuous delivery, and infrastructure as code. Azure DevOps is a versatile and powerful tool that combines various aspects of software development and deployment into a single platform. It is an amalgamation of collaborative tools like Azure Boards, Azure Repos, Azure Pipelines, Azure Test Plans, and Azure Artifacts. It simplifies the process of software development and makes it more efficient by streamlining and automating different stages. It also enhances team collaboration, making it a popular choice among DevOps teams. It's a comprehensive, end-to-end solution that empowers teams to deliver high-quality products faster and more efficiently. 2. What are the main services offered by Azure DevOps? Azure DevOps offers a wide range of services designed to support the software development lifecycle. First, there's Azure Boards, a work tracking system that allows for planning, tracking, and discussing work across the entire development team. Azure Pipelines, on the other hand, provides CI/CD that works with any language, platform, or cloud. Next, Azure Repos offers unlimited cloud-hosted private Git repos, while Azure Test Plans provides a tool for managing, tracking, and planning your testing efforts. Lastly, Azure Artifacts allows for the integration of package sharing into your pipelines. Azure DevOps is a feature-rich platform that supports collaborative software development. Its main services include Azure Boards, Pipelines, Repos, Test Plans, and Artifacts. Azure Boards facilitate better planning, tracking, and discussion among development teams. Azure Pipelines is a versatile CI/CD solution compatible with all languages, platforms, and clouds. Azure Repos provide unlimited cloud-hosted private Git repos for smooth version control. Azure Test Plans is an all-in-one solution for managing, tracking, and planning all your testing needs. Azure Artifacts help in integrating package sharing into your CI/CD pipelines. 3. Can you explain the difference between C, continuous integration, and CD, continuous deployment? C, or continuous integration, is a development practice where developers integrate code into a shared repository frequently, preferably several times a day. Each integration can then be verified by an automated build and automated tests. The primary goal of CI is to prevent integration problems, which used to be a common issue when developers worked in isolation and merged their changes less frequently. On the other hand, CD stands for continuous deployment, which is a software release process that uses automated testing to validate if changes to a codebase are correct and stable for immediate autonomous deployment to a production environment. This approach ensures that you can release new features, updates, and bug fixes to customers quickly in a sustainable way. With CI, the main focus is on integrating the work of different developers and ensuring that the integrated whole functions correctly. CD, however, focuses on getting these changes to the users and stakeholders as quickly as possible. Both practices are essential components of Agile development and DevOps, and they usually work together in a CI/CD pipeline. 4. What is a build pipeline in Azure DevOps? A build pipeline is a key component in Azure DevOps, serving as an automated process for delivering quality code more rapidly and efficiently. It allows developers to define a highly automated process to build, test, and deliver software from source code form into a final product, whether that be a compiled code, a web application, or a container. When code is submitted or merged into a repository, the build pipeline is triggered, executing the defined tasks. The pipeline can be designed to include various stages, such as compiling code, running unit tests, and performing code analysis. This promotes consistency in the development process and helps to identify and resolve issues earlier. 5. What is a release pipeline? A release pipeline is a vital aspect of Azure DevOps. It is a series of steps that are implemented to deliver the changes made in the code base to the end users. These steps include various stages such as testing, staging, and deployment, which ensure that the code is thoroughly checked and validated before it is delivered to the end user. The release pipeline provides a controlled way to automate the delivery process, thus reducing human error and increasing efficiency. It is a powerful tool that allows for continuous delivery, making it an essential part of the DevOps lifecycle. To further understand the release pipeline, let's imagine a scenario where a developer is tasked with updating a software application. After making the necessary changes, the updated code is placed in a shared repository. The release pipeline then comes into play, fetching the updated code, running various tests, and deploying the code to a staging environment for further validation. After all checks are passed, the code is finally deployed to the production environment, making the updated version of the software available to the users. This entire process is automated, ensuring swift and secure delivery of the updated code. 6. How do you manage version control in Azure DevOps? Azure DevOps provides two types of version control systems: Git and Team Foundation Version Control, TFVC. Git is a distributed version control system and TFVC is a centralized version control system. You can choose the one that best suits your project requirements. To manage version control in Azure DevOps, you need to create a repository in your project. You can create multiple repositories for a single project if required. For managing the versions, you need to commit and push your changes to the Azure DevOps repository. This can be done using the Git commands from your local system or directly from the Azure DevOps interface. When working in a team, it's essential to create a branch for each feature or bug fix. This helps in isolating the changes and makes the code review process easier. After the code review, you can merge your branch with the main branch. Azure DevOps also provides a pull request feature to manage the code review and merge process. In addition to these, Azure DevOps provides features like file comparison, commit history, and conflict resolution to manage version control effectively. 7. What is a YAML pipeline? A YAML pipeline is a feature of Azure DevOps that provides an efficient and configurable way to set up your CI/CD pipelines. YAML stands for YAML Ain't Markup Language, which is a human-readable data serialization format. Unlike the graphical user interface, GUI, pipelines which are created and configured in Azure DevOps using visual tools, YAML pipelines are coded in text files, which allows them to be version controlled and reviewed similarly as code. By using these pipelines, you can ensure that the same pipeline is used across all branches and policies can be enforced. They are also extensible, allowing for custom tasks to be incorporated into the pipeline. 8. How do you integrate Azure DevOps with third-party tools? Azure DevOps offers seamless integration with various third-party tools via extensions available in its marketplace. This integration aids in extending the functionality of Azure DevOps. For instance, integrating Azure DevOps with Jira allows you to track your issues and work items directly from Azure DevOps. Similarly, integrating with Jenkins can help you create build pipelines and execute jobs directly from your Azure DevOps environment. You can also use APIs to connect Azure DevOps with other tools. This allows for data interchange and communication between the tools, thereby promoting efficiency and automation in your DevOps processes. In case an extension or API isn't available, you can build custom integrations using Azure Logic Apps, Azure Functions, or even webhooks. The key to successful integration lies in understanding the functionality of both Azure DevOps and the third-party tool. This allows for an optimized setup that maximizes the benefits of each tool, ensuring a streamlined and efficient workflow. 9. What is Infrastructure as Code, IAC, and how can it be implemented in Azure DevOps? Infrastructure as Code, IAC, refers to the method of managing and provisioning computing infrastructure through machine-readable definition files, rather than physical hardware configuration or interactive configuration tools. Azure DevOps supports the implementation of IAC through the Azure Resource Manager, ARM, templates. These templates are JSON files that define the resources needed to run an application. You can create ARM templates to define resources in Azure, then deploy and manage those resources in a consistent state. In the Azure DevOps pipeline, you can use the Azure Resource Group Deployment task to deploy these ARM templates. This task will allow you to provide the path to the template file and the required parameters file. After this, Azure DevOps will handle the deployment and provision your resources in Azure. This IAC setup helps to provide consistency and repeatability, which is beneficial for the development and operations teams to ensure a smooth delivery process. 10. What is the purpose of Azure Boards? Azure Boards is a powerful tool in Azure DevOps that provides an intuitive system for tracking work items. It provides services such as agile planning, tracking of work items, and comprehensive reporting capabilities. Azure Boards is designed to accommodate different work styles and methodologies, whether it's Scrum, Kanban, or a hybrid approach. It aids in collaboration between team members and helps to keep everyone on the same page regarding task progress and project timelines. The tool also integrates seamlessly with other Azure DevOps services, allowing for a smooth workflow from planning to deployment. 11. How do you handle secrets and sensitive information in Azure DevOps? Azure DevOps provides several ways to handle secrets and sensitive information. One way is through the use of Azure Key Vault, which is a secure secrets store that lets you manage and control access to secrets, keys, and certificates needed for your applications. When using Azure Key Vault with Azure DevOps, you can store secrets in the vault and reference them in your build and release pipelines. This ensures that secrets are never exposed in your logs or checked into your source code. Another way is by using secret variables in your pipelines. These are variables that you can define in Azure DevOps and use in your build and release pipelines. The values of these variables are encrypted and can only be accessed by authorized users. You can also use Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, to manage access to resources and services in Azure DevOps. With Azure AD, you can control who has access to what resources and what they can do with them. Azure DevOps provides several mechanisms to manage secrets and sensitive information. You can use Azure Key Vault, a tool that provides secure storage of secrets, allowing you to manage and control access to keys, certificates, and secrets that applications require. With Azure Key Vault, secrets can be stored securely and referenced in build and release pipelines, ensuring they are not exposed in logs or source code. Another method is through secret variables in pipelines. These are encrypted variables that can be defined in Azure DevOps and included in build and release pipelines, accessible only to authorized users. Furthermore, Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, can be utilized to manage access to resources and services, controlling who can access specific resources and what actions they can perform. 12. Can you explain the concept of infrastructure as code in the context of Azure DevOps? Infrastructure as code, IAC, is a practice in DevOps that involves managing and provisioning computing infrastructure with machine-readable definition files, rather than physical hardware configuration or interactive configuration tools. IAC is crucial to DevOps workflows as it allows for the automation of setup processes, making the whole development process more efficient and less error-prone. In the context of Azure DevOps, IAC comes to play in the form of Azure Resource Manager, ARM, templates. These templates are JSON files that define the resources needed for your applications. They can be used to set up all the necessary infrastructure in Azure and provide a consistent environment for your applications. The ARM templates are stored in the source control repository along with your application code, so they can be version controlled and reviewed like any other code. The use of IAC in Azure DevOps provides many benefits including faster deployment, consistent environments, reduced production failures, and easier scalability and maintenance. 13. What strategies do you use for CI/CD monitoring and logging in Azure DevOps? Azure DevOps facilitates an integrated experience for monitoring and logging with CI/CD. One strategy is to make use of Azure Monitor and Azure Log Analytics. Azure Monitor collects data from various sources like applications, infrastructure, and network, enabling you to visualize, query, and get insights from your operational data. Azure Log Analytics is a tool that helps you to manage and analyze logs effectively. Another strategy is to integrate application insights into your CI/CD pipelines. Application Insights is an extensible application performance management (APM) service for developers and DevOps professionals. It allows you to monitor your live applications, detect performance anomalies, and diagnose issues with maximum efficiency. The Azure DevOps platform also provides built-in features for monitoring and logging. For instance, you can use the Pipeline Analytics feature to gain insights on the health and status of your pipelines. These strategies ensure that any issues in the CI/CD process can be detected and rectified promptly, thereby ensuring smooth and efficient deployment processes. Azure DevOps also provides integration with third-party tools for monitoring and logging, which provides flexibility in choosing the tools that best fit your project's needs. 14. How do you implement testing within your CI/CD pipeline? Implementing testing in your CI/CD pipeline requires a strategic approach. Firstly, define the types of tests you want to execute. These might include unit tests, integration tests, security tests, and performance tests. Once these are defined, choose the appropriate testing tools compatible with Azure DevOps. Next, integrate these tools into the CI/CD pipeline. This can be done by including the testing step in the build and deployment scripts. Azure provides a variety of built-in tasks for popular testing frameworks and languages, which can be added to your YAML file. It is also important to ensure the test results are easily accessible for review. Azure DevOps provides a comprehensive test results interface that can be configured to meet your needs. Finally, automate the testing process. This means every time a change is pushed to the repository, your tests will automatically run. This helps to catch issues early and improve the quality of the software. In addition to these steps, continuous monitoring and feedback are crucial to ensure the effectiveness of your testing strategy within the CI/CD pipeline. The key to implementing testing within your CI/CD pipeline is automation and integration. First, you need to decide on the types of tests to be included, such as unit, integration, performance, and security tests. Next, select appropriate testing tools that can be integrated with Azure DevOps. Add these tests into your pipeline configuration, typically via a YAML file. Ensure that the testing process triggers automatically with each code pushed to the repository. This allows early detection and resolution of issues, enhancing the quality of the end product. Lastly, continuously monitor the test results and provide feedback to make any necessary adjustments. 15. What is the significance of agent pools in Azure DevOps? Agent pools in Azure DevOps play a crucial role in the completion of tasks and jobs. They act as the infrastructure where jobs are executed. These pools can contain one or multiple agents, and they can be hosted either on cloud or on premises. The primary role of agent pools is to control the distribution of jobs. When a job is run, it gets sent to an available agent in the pool. This system allows for efficient handling of multiple jobs, even when they are run simultaneously. Each agent in a pool can process one job at a time, ensuring that tasks are managed systematically and effectively. In Azure DevOps, you can configure agent pools according to overall project requirements, ensuring that the processing capacity aligns with the project's needs. This feature makes agent pools a flexible and essential tool in Azure DevOps environments. 16. Describe a challenging issue you faced while implementing Azure DevOps and how you resolved it. I encountered an issue when integrating third-party tools with Azure DevOps. The tool was not compatible with the Azure DevOps environment, causing the entire pipeline to fail. This was a significant challenge as the tool was integral to the project's workflow. I resolved this issue by setting up a virtual machine within Azure and installed the tool on the VM. This provided a compatible environment for the tool to run successfully, allowing it to integrate seamlessly with Azure DevOps. This experience taught me the importance of thoroughly checking tool compatibility before integrating them into the DevOps environment and how to troubleshoot effectively when faced with unexpected errors. 17. How would you migrate a project from another DevOps tool to Azure DevOps? The process of migrating a project from another DevOps tool to Azure DevOps involves several steps. Initially, one needs to evaluate and understand the existing project setup, including the structure, processes, and tools. Next, one needs to understand the features and capabilities of Azure DevOps to identify how the existing workflow can be mapped and transformed. Then, the planning phase involves designing a migration strategy, setting up a timeline, and identifying potential issues that might arise during the migration. Before implementing the migration, it's important to conduct a trial run to ensure everything works as expected. The final step is to execute the migration, monitor the process, and make necessary adjustments. Communication with the team is vital throughout this process to ensure a smooth transition and minimal disruption to the workflow. 18. If you had to set up a new project in Azure DevOps, what steps would you take? Firstly, I would create a new project under the Azure DevOps portal. After that, the next step would be to connect the local repository to the Azure DevOps using Git commands in the terminal. I would then build a pipeline using YAML or Classic Editor based on the project requirements. This pipeline will compile, test, and build the code. Next, I would create a release pipeline which would deploy the built code to the different environments like Dev, QA, and Prod. I would also set up branch policies to ensure code quality and to implement a proper pull request review mechanism. We should also manage secret variables securely, for which Azure Key Vault can be used. Finally, I would ensure that all the necessary integrations, such as Slack, Jira, etc., are in place for better collaboration. It is also important to continuously monitor the pipelines for any failures and take necessary actions as soon as possible. 19. How would you handle a failed build in Azure DevOps? To handle a failed build in Azure DevOps, I would first look into the error logs generated during the build process. The logs provide valuable information about what went wrong during the build, allowing me to pinpoint the issue. Once I've identified the problem, I would correct it. This might involve fixing a bug in the code, resolving a merge conflict, adjusting build settings, or updating dependencies. After making necessary corrections, I would trigger a new build. If the build continues to fail, I would seek input from other team members or escalate the issue to more experienced developers. Consistent monitoring and regular communication with the team are key in these situations. 20. What metrics do you consider important for evaluating the success of DevOps implementation? DevOps success can be measured using various metrics, each providing insight into different aspects of the implementation process. The key is to choose the ones that align best with your specific goals and objectives. One metric to consider is deployment frequency. This measures how often new code is deployed to production, providing insight into the speed of your delivery process. Another relevant metric is change lead time, measuring the time it takes for a change to go from commit to production. This gives an idea of the efficiency of your development and deployment processes. Mean time to recover, MTTR, is another metric that shows how quickly your team can recover from failures in the production environment. This speaks to the resilience of your system. Finally, change fail rate measures what percentage of changes result in failure, offering insight into the quality of your code and the effectiveness of your testing processes. By monitoring these metrics, you can gain a comprehensive understanding of your DevOps performance and identify areas for improvement. 21. How do you prioritize tasks in a DevOps environment? To prioritize tasks in a DevOps environment, one needs to have a clear understanding of the business objectives and the potential impact of each task on the project's success. The first step is to identify the tasks that are critical for the system's functionality or stability. These tasks should be given the highest priority. Next, tasks that can significantly improve the system's performance or usability should be prioritized. It's also crucial to consider the dependencies between tasks. Tasks that other tasks are dependent on should be completed first. Additionally, feedback from stakeholders, including the development and operations teams, can also be helpful in prioritizing tasks. For instance, regular communication and collaboration with the development team can help identify which tasks are most important for them and hence should be prioritized. Lastly, it's important to regularly reassess task priorities as they can change over time due to changes in business objectives, project requirements, or system state. 22. Can you describe a time when you had to work closely with developers and operations teams? Working in a DevOps environment often requires strong collaboration between different teams. I remember a specific project where we were tasked to deploy a new application in Azure DevOps. The developers had written the code, and my role was to ensure that it was deployed smoothly into production. The operations team was responsible for the infrastructure setup, and I was liaising with both teams regularly. We faced a few challenges due to some code dependencies and versioning issues. This required me to work closely with the developers to understand the code and its dependencies. At the same time, I worked with the operations team to set up the correct environment for the application. We used Azure DevOps tools like Azure Boards for planning, Azure Repos for code management, and Azure Pipelines for CI/CD. Through clear communication and regular stand-ups, we were able to solve the issues and successfully deployed the application. This experience highlighted the importance of teamwork and effective communication in a DevOps environment. 23. What do you believe are the key skills for a successful DevOps engineer? A successful DevOps engineer needs a wide range of technical and non-technical skills. On the technical side, they should be proficient in various programming languages, understand networking and system administration, and have a solid grasp of automation tools and practices. They should also know how to implement CI/CD pipelines, perform testing, and manage version control systems. Non-technical skills are equally important. DevOps engineers need to be excellent communicators and collaborators, as they have to work closely with different teams. Problem-solving skills are crucial, given the complex and often unpredictable challenges they encounter. Adaptability is also key, as technology and best practices in the DevOps field are constantly evolving. Being proactive about learning and staying updated with the latest trends and developments in the DevOps field can also be beneficial. For instance, they could regularly read industry blogs, attend webinars or conferences, or participate in relevant online communities. 24. How do you stay updated with the latest trends and features in Azure DevOps? In order to stay abreast of the latest trends and features in Azure DevOps, I follow a multi-pronged approach. I subscribe to newsletters and blogs from trusted tech sources that provide updates about Azure DevOps. Microsoft's own documentation is a reliable source for feature updates and best practices. I also actively participate in related forums and communities where professionals share their experiences, challenges, and solutions. Webinars and online courses are also beneficial for learning about new tools and techniques. Additionally, attending tech conferences can provide valuable insights into emerging trends in the DevOps landscape. 25. What improvements would you suggest for an existing Azure DevOps implementation? I would suggest the following improvements for an existing Azure DevOps implementation. Firstly, I would recommend integrating automated testing into the CI/CD pipeline. This can speed up the development process by identifying bugs early and making it easier to fix them. Secondly, I would suggest using infrastructure as code, IAC, to manage and provision resources. IAC can eliminate manual processes, reducing the chance of human error. Lastly, I would recommend implementing monitoring and logging tools to gain insights into system performance and to identify and resolve issues more quickly. These are just a few of the possible improvements. The best course of action would depend on the specific needs and circumstances of the project. In wrapping up, we hope that this guide on the top 25 Azure DevOps interview questions and answers has been valuable in your preparation. These questions, though not exhaustive, are designed to give you a comprehensive understanding of what you might encounter in an Azure DevOps interview. Remember, understanding the concept behind each question is key to providing impressive responses. If you found this information helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Best of luck in your upcoming interview.